Hi everyone, in this section of the course, we will see how we can use GitLab as CI CD tool. That is continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. To better understand this concept, I would recommend you going through Docker concepts because GitLab CI communicates with GitLab runners, which internally uses containers to run the jobs which are described in the pipeline. We'll go through each of these terms in our future sessions, but let's start with CI CD. CI is continuous integration, is a set of practices that development teams follow to implement small changes and push the code to the version control repositories frequently. Okay, the main goal of CI is to establish a consistent and automated way to build, package, and test applications. Okay, so that is continuous integration. Now, the continuous delivery picks up where continuous integration ends. CD automates the delivery of applications to selected infrastructure environments. Now we can have different environments like development, test, and production environments. So the main goal of continuous delivery is to push the package or the application to the respective environment. Okay, so with this concept, let's understand what is GitLab CI CD. Now GitLab CI CD is a powerful tool built within GitLab that allows you to apply all the concepts of continuous methods like continuous integration, delivery, and deployment to your software with no third-party application or integration needed. So what it means is, now GitLab not only has a code repository or project planning, it can also be used as a CI/CD tool. Okay, now there are many other open source and paid CI/CD tools out there. Like we have Jenkins, which is an open source tool which can be used to communicate with repositories and trigger the pipeline, or you can say do the CI/CD for us. But GitLab comes with its own CI/CD, and it is, when you're using GitLab, it is always recommended that we make use of CI/CD, right? That is GitLab CI CD. But if you still want to use a third-party tool, we can still do it. Okay, we can still use, for example, we can use GitLab as a code repository and use Jenkins tool to do the CI/CD. Okay, so that is GitLab CI/CD. Next, let us look at how continuous integration and deployment happens. Okay, the flow. The flow starts from the developer who creates a new branch. That is, if you're in an agile process, the branch is going to be a feature branch. Okay, and the changes are then pushed to the GitLab repository where a pipeline gets triggered. Okay, and the pipeline has number of jobs within it, like it can have test job, code analysis job, and build job. All right, so those jobs are basically part of continuous integration. Okay, then once everything is successful, okay, only then next comes the review and the approve. So what happens is, if one of the job fails, for example, assume that in the pipeline we have test and build job. Okay, and for some reason the test job failed. So what we do is we notify back to the developer, and the developer then make the changes, fix the code, and then again pushes the code, okay, to the repository, and again the automated build and test jobs run. that is the pipeline re-triggers. And then if all the jobs within the pipeline are successful, then what happens is the next step is the review and the approvals stage, where the other team member looks at the code and review it, and everything looks fine, then approves it. And then we have another step called merge request. Okay, then the merge request is created, and basically it happens, this two, that is approve and the merge, happens when a merge request is created for the feature branch to the develop branch or any other branch. Okay, so once the approval is done, then the team member merges the branches, and then where the pipeline again triggers, where the build, test and deploy happens, and this is where we call it as continuous deployment. Okay, and the deployment can be done to, depending on the branch that we are merging, it will be done to the respective environment, right? It can be in development environment, testing environment, or the production environment. So that's how this whole CI CD flow looks like. It starts from where the developer pushes or commits the changes to the GitLab repository and ends with the deployment of the artifact to the environment, that is respective environment. Okay, so let's understand how this happens, like how CI does it, like how GitLab CI communicates with other tools and deploys the changes or the artifact to the environment. Now, the GitLab CI itself is a tool, right? And the tool communicates with GitLab runner. Okay, we'll see what GitLab runner is. And the GitLab runner is responsible to run the jobs within the pipeline. Okay, now how it runs, it picks up the job and runs within a container. Okay, it can be any container, it can be an image of any type, it can be a Java image, it can be an image of any tool that you are thinking that particular job needs to be run. An image or the container is created, and the GitLab runner will run that job within that container. Okay, so you can have multiple containers configured, and those GitLab runners can be registered with the GitLab CI. So again, when the pipeline is executed, the job can be picked up by any of the runner, and you can also configure whether a particular job needs to be picked up by a specific tagged GitLab runner. Okay, so all those configurations we will see later, but for now just remember that how the flow, or you can say how the process works. Like the GitLab CI communicates with the GitLab runner, and the GitLab runner is responsible to run the jobs within the pipeline, and each job runs within a container. Okay, so let's look at what GitLab runner is. It is an application that works with a GitLab CI to run jobs in a pipeline. Okay, that's what we just discussed. Now there are three things that you need to follow to get the GitLab runner up and running and configured with the GitLab CI tool. First, we install GitLab runner. Now you can install GitLab runner as directly into your operating system, or you can use Docker to install GitLab runner. Once the installation is completed, then we register the GitLab runner. When you register a runner, you are setting up communication between your GitLab instance and the machine where the GitLab runner is installed. Okay, so assume that you have GitLab CI running on machine A. Okay, that is GitLab a tool itself is running on machine A, and then you're installing GitLab runner on machine B. So when you register them, when you register the runner, what you're doing is you are making a communication between the GitLab, that is machine A, which is installed on machine A, and GitLab runner. Okay, so that's what registration means, and we'll be doing that when we are installing GitLab runner. Okay, so, and the final step is the executors. Now, what are executors? It determines basically the environment each job runs in. So what that means is, okay, so if you want your CI CD job to run in a particular environment, for assume that if you want to run in a Windows server, then you run PowerShell commands, right? So that's how you are going to register shell executor. Now, if you want to run your CI CD job in a Docker container, then what you do is you configure a Docker executor. Okay, so that's how the executors determines basically the environment where your job is going to be run. Okay, if it is a Windows application that you're going to run in, then you're going to have you might be using a PowerShell, or you can say a shell executor. If you think that you want to run your application like a Java application run within a container, then you're going to use a Docker executor. So that's what this executors means. Okay, so with this, I guess we are now you might now you're familiar with the basic concepts that we will be frequently using when we are learning about GitLab CI. Okay, so in the next session, what we are going to do is we are going to set up a GitLab CI to our application and create a pipeline. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.